Here's my new process using Evoto. So I'm going to take my file and I'm going to open it in Photoshop, and it's going to open it in Raw. And I'm going to do my usual exposure and all the good color and everything the way that I would normally do it to get a nice flat file that I'm going to then retouch from. So I'm going to save this as a TIFF. I used to always save as PSDs, but now I've been saving as a TIFF so that I can use it within Evoto. So I'm going to come here, go to save and save image. And then in here, I'm going to choose TIFF and save. So now I have my TIFF file right here that I have saved out, and I'm going to bring it into Evoto. And here we are in Evoto, and now I can go through and actually edit it. I don't do any color in Evoto. I find that all my color just comes out better and closer to the way that I want it within Lightroom. I also don't want to have to export a bunch of times in Evoto, so I would much rather do everything here. So you got your male and your female and then the baby, and you can do them all together or you can do them individually. So I'm going to do them individually so I can see what's going on. Under the male, I just do very, very minimal stuff. Women, I do a lot more. As you can see, I've already done these edits. She had a little bit of a double chin, so we went ahead and used the double chin feature, which is super helpful and cool. Oh, where is it? It's up here under here by the glasses glare. So I've got it fairly high. I have used the wrinkle reducer, which is over here under the clothing icon. I can't really use the background cleanup in this image because it's not a solid background, so it doesn't really help. And I'm just doing very minor stuff on the baby. I do have the stray hairs on to take care of some of mom's, but I am going to need to come into Photoshop and reduce some of those. Same thing with dad's. I might go to dad's here and let's go fix his. I'm going to go to stray hairs removal on. I'm just on dad, and I'm just going to bump that up. I want these ones on his forehead to go away. They may or may not, but that's a little bit better. I'm still going to need to come in and fix it, particularly because this is going to print. So there we go. It's fixing her teeth just a little bit. And I do have catch lights going in her eyes that I don't love. It's a little bit too much on this image. So I might come in and reduce that. Let's just bring it down a little bit. That's better. And I do have lashes adding that are pretty close to what she actually has. So that's about how I would do them. I'm just going to double check on the baby really quick. And then I'm going to export this image by going here. And then I'm going to put it into the same folder as the original photo and then Evoto retouched. And it's going to put it into a new file. I'm not going to replace the original files because I want to have two different layers. So go ahead and click export. And now here we are back in Photoshop. This is my original. This is the TIFF that I saved out of Camera Raw. Now I'm going to grab my Finder window, and in here I've got this Evoto retouched folder now. This is the new one that has just been retouched. So in order to get them to stack, I'm just going to take this image and drag it over and drop it. And what it does is it puts it in there, it places the image. So it's going to put it directly in the right spot. It's going to line up completely. And now I can see a before and after. And if I want to use this as my retouched layer, what I can do is just rasterize it. So instead of being a smart object, I want it to be a rasterized layer that I can then edit. And now I've got my before layer and a retouched after layer. So I can come in and do all the little details like cleaning up around his forehead where those stray hairs were, anything else on her, like I might take out that line in her shirt, this thing in the floor, any, like his cell phone pocket, and kind of reduce some of this lint on their pants. So I can still do all my normal retouching. I just have this added benefit of really nice reduction of her chin and those flyaway hairs on her hairline, inside her hair, that really would have taken me a lot longer to take care of, and Evoto did it within seconds. So it's pretty darn cool to use it for things like this, just knowing that you have some limitations. So you'd want to come in, see how it's really left a mark where, you can see the artifact of where it's adjusted things and it's not quite clean. So I would want to come in here and just clean these things up so that it looks really smooth and professional, particularly if it is going to print. So that's how I would stack my layers, so that you can basically use Evoto as a Photoshop filter or a Photoshop plugin instead of it completely, completely changing your Photoshop workflow. It can just really enhance it.